Oh man, YouTube, it's your boy the Official Go Getter, and I'm coming at you guys back with another video. Today we're gonna be talking about the topic of finding yourself, right? To reach anything, and what I promote a lot, even here on this channel, and just what I see a lot in the world is a lot of men, they don't, people in general, they haven't taken the time to really find themselves and ground themselves and be okay with their own presence alone, right? We find it hard to be in our own thoughts and being able to sit there in that room alone without having to call nobody, without having to text nobody, without having to distract ourselves, right? That's as human beings, that's something we all struggle with, especially nowadays, right? We have so many things and so many distractions, and we like to fill our voids with so many things because it's so natural to, because it's all there, right? But one of the key things to gain any sense of control of yourself and other people around you, if I'm being honest, is being able to control the fact that control yourself for one, but then being able to be in your own presence, right? You don't have to need anybody else for anything, right? Collaboration is important. And I'm not saying we should be alone, but what I am saying is we should be able to be alone until we find the right people that we attract, right? The right people that fit what we are trying to accomplish. And you know that feeling when you're sitting there with a friend and it don't feel right. You feel like this friend may be talking down on you, but why do you still stick around? And you in a friend group where not everybody accepts you, and you got to change yourself, but you still stick around, right? That comes from a sense of just not being able to find yourself, right? Because if you respect yourself and love yourself just as much as you respect and love other people, you wouldn't put up with a lot of stuff, right? You would say yes to yourself and no to them, right? And one of the first steps to doing that, from my experience, man, how I got to that point where I kind of always grew up where I was alone, not alone, but like I was able to um, have fun by myself and entertain myself, without needing other people. But I did have friends. But really, even with finding yourself, it comes down to that feeling of just confidence, right? So how do you get to that place of feeling lost right now, and then to that place of feeling confidence? And how I did that was I focused on these three values, which is the physical aspect, the mental aspect, and the financial aspect, right? You can add spiritual in there if you really wanted to, but kind of mental and spiritual is the same to me. But it started with learning information, right? So the first thing you need to do is focus on your mental health, right? You got to conquer your mind, right? You have to learn new information. So what it took it for me was going to a workshop and realizing, that the mind is a lot more powerful than it is, than we think it is. The mind plays such a vivid role, such a significant role in getting to whatever and accomplishing anything, whether it's you opening the door or whether it's you attaining $100,000, right, and becoming rich, right? Your mind plays a significant role and it's moving strategically, right? And you can, if you learn how it works and you learn how to, cater your mind to certain things, you'll be able to cater your reality to certain things, right? So you focus on with mental and learning knowledge, reading books, right? Um, watch self improvement videos, watch self development videos, find the people that you look up to, your content creators that you look up to, the books and authors that you look up to who write self development books, and run with them, right? The easiest way to get to where you're trying to go is to find somebody who inspires you and just not necessarily copy what they're doing, but take what they're doing and add it to yourself in your own way, right? That's the easiest way. So two books I got right here. Um, these are books that I kind of read later in my journey. This is one book that I read later in the journey. This is a book that I read at the beginning. And first, we're going to start with the one that I read at the beginning. Power Shift by Damon Johnson. Damon Johnson, he is the dude from Shark Tank. He sits up there, and he also created Fubu, and he's been able to just create, if I'm not mistaken, $1 billion brand, but maybe it's just a brand. multi-million-dollar brand, right? And he's been in the game in a minute, right? And he's able to, with being on Shark Tank, he's able to decipher whether a good business and a good brand is a good brand or a bad brand, right? So power shift, it talks about being able to shift from, you know, one aspect of your life to another, right? Being able to also learn how to communicate when it comes down to getting what you want in business conversations and business um what's the word, I can't think of the word right now, but negotiations, right? Negotiations. So boom, transform any situation, close any deal, and achieve any outcome. I'm gonna read this one more time, but I read this at the beginning of my journey from front to end. My dad gave me this book. Appreciate you, pops. um and it was a great book. But this shows you, it's like when you understand how, like I was talking about, how the brain works, everything becomes strategic. So when you're in a deal and you're communicating with other people, whether you're in a deal or not, just communication in general, you understand certain words will trigger certain things. So to not trigger those things, you won't say certain words, but then you will say certain words to trigger the things you want and the outcome you want. And this is what that book also dives into. So next is Seven Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. And this right here, honestly, bro, I now realizing it, I can't touch on it too much because I only read half the book. So I haven't finished this quite yet. It's like 350 pages. I've only read like about 150. So, but from what I can say, this is a book that I've been reading a little. This is further into my journey. So this is recently, and what I can say so far, the Seven Habits of Highly Effective People is it's teaching you once again the strategic way of living, right? So there's seven different habits of what people do, and of what successful people do, right? And it's like what I was talking about in another video. If you focus on what they all have in common, success leaves clues, right? So they all focus on their health, right? They all focus on their mental and learn more. You know what I mean? They all focus on their financial well-being and learning more about how they can invest their money and invest in the assets, things are going to make them money back. And then they use that money to let them buy the materialistic things they sacrifice, right? They don't really. So, um, they meditate, they get their mind together. They operate a certain way with people. They live by certain principles. So this is what this video talks about. It's just talking about everything successful people do, or book, everything successful people do in a nutshell. Once again, I'm only halfway through the book. From what I have read so far, because what I will do is I read half of a book and then kind of burn myself out. Then I'll move on to the next book and read a little bit of that. Right. So I'll read multiple books at a time to get multiple information, to get new information and refresh my brain. So that's what the mental aspect. So my bad, I spent that long on one topic, but now we're gonna move on to the physical aspect, which is that eating healthy and getting your physique right. So yes, we're gonna fall short, and yes, sometimes you are going to, especially if you have the habit now of eating bad and eating junk food. But the thing is, in America, all the bad things are pushed at us, right? So don't sit here and just get accustomed to it. Realize what it is, man. A lot of these things that we're putting into our body are things that we're not supposed to be putting into our body, right? So put the right foods into your body majority of the time over the wrong foods, right? We do live in Babylon at the end of the day. We do live in America. So it's like, but the goal is to be ultra disciplined to the point where you are in your own world within this one. So when I was on my 21-day fast, that's when I realized that I can choose. Like every single spot has a vegan option, a gluten-free option, a healthier option, you know what I mean, for something to eat. Um, And that's when I realized, there's really no excuse as to why you can't eat healthier. We're all just accustomed, and we want to just fill up that parasite in our belly. You know what I'm saying? Um, you feel the urge, and then you want to just go feed it. Then you want to feed it with, it's all heavy food. You know what I mean? You feed it with heavy food because we're so used to eating that. So even if you eat the food that's healthier to you, I had that problem. I was feeling more hungry because it was just lighter. You know what I mean? But then I got accustomed to it, and one of the things I wanted to focus on was and get better at was eating a few eating less throughout the day. Like, I don't want to starve myself, but I do want to eat when I feel hungry, and not, if I don't have to eat 3 4 meals that day, I don't have to eat 3 4 meals that day. I might be cool with one, I might be cool with two. You know what I mean? And maybe if I was really focusing on, trying to build my body, then I would be tracking everything, and I would be trying to like overeat and all that and build that muscle. But I'm kind of just trying to make sure I stay fit and grow muscle over time. But on top of eating, like that goes right into the next topic, working out, right? So eating the right food, and then make sure you're eating, you're making sure your body's fit, right? So get into a gym. If you don't want to get into a gym, you go into the community. You can get you something at home. If you're older, like my mom, she's 40. My mom, she walks every day. She just lost she's went from 170, I think 175 to 156. So that's almost 20 pounds in the last, since January. Um, it all just by walking, eating when she feels hungry, and not when she tells herself to, right? And not when she just feels the urge to. And then just walking around the little neighborhood, that's got lost her 20 pounds. So it doesn't take a lot, you know. As a man, and woman, we all should just be keeping our body fit. As human beings, we should be taking care of this temple, so we can operate at the full capacity. Um, so make sure you get into a routine of incorporating your workouts at least 3 times a week, 4 times a week. But then the 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 healthier you eat, the less you kind of have to work out, if I'm being honest. So if you can eat healthy and have a real good diet and only work out 2 3 times a week and still look great and still see progress, right? Compared to somebody who's working out 5 times a week and they're not eating healthy, right? Your body will look more defined than theirs and look better than theirs because you're taking the consistent steps in the part that matters the most, right? Because you can go to the gym, hit abs every day, but if you're gonna go home and still eat a burger and fries and eat chips, you know, you're not gonna see the results that you truly want compared to the person who is working out 3 times a week and only hit abs 3 times a week, but they go home, they gonna make sure they eat a Caesar salad, and they might, put some pasta together. They may do something that's, you know, more sufficient for the body, right? So now after the physical aspect, we move on to that financial aspect, right? And one thing we all don't like doing is working a job, right? Maybe you're somebody who works a job that you love, and maybe you're somebody who's working your dream job. But a lot of us in this country, especially nowadays, the goal is we don't want to keep working for somebody else and rely on somebody else to feed us for the rest of our life, right? I was watching Wall Street Trapper. I watch him all the time, and something he says all the time is, if you allow them to feed you, you allow them to starve you. So you're allowing them to put money in your pocket, to put food on your family's plate. If they took that money away, that's them starving you right there, because you're allowing them to give you this money, and you're allowing yourself to rely on them, right? Excuse me, man. You're allowing yourself to rely on them. And on top of that, it's like, you allow yourself to rely on them. If they were to take this away, you don't got nothing, because you were relying on them. And the goal is to just be able to develop something for yourself, right? Have a say so in your life, control your own destiny. So financially, um, not everybody is gonna wants to be an entrepreneur. I understand that, but doing something you don't like to do to get to where you want to go is something we all got to do. So working a job, um, and being in motion financially, keeping that consistent income gets you in that rhythm, right? Um, I have a friend, and even myself. There's two examples, but a friend of mine, he's been going through it like lately. Uh, was going through it the last few months, and he didn't have a job, but it was all due to the fact that he didn't want to. He was fighting everything he could do to go back to work, but I'm seeing him struggle. I'm seeing him go through a hard time, and I'm telling him, bro, might put your pride to the side, bro, and just go get a job. There was a point in time where I had to put my pride to the side and go get a job, and that's what I did. And you have to just look at it like you're doing it for yourself, because that's all I'm doing, man. This job is going to be a stepping stone, and I use it to my advantage to get to where I want to go. Create a plan, right? Um, but keeping a job, one source of income gives you the ability to have another, and then that gives you the ability to have another, right? So you need money to make money. So have that job to put it towards what you really want to do and invest in yourself, right? And keep staying in motion, right? Because you're doing it for like the peace, right? And you're sticking is not routine, right? I realize, like, if you're not always in motion, if you're not always having a routine and you want to just stay stagnant for a day or two, that hinders a lot of progress. So a job's gonna keep you in a routine, right? If you're able to stick to somebody else's routine, you're gonna damn sure be able to, you not damn sure, but you have to be able to find the drive to stick to your own routine, right? Like, even on my days off, like, I go to work 5 days a week, but on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, those days are for my own vision, right? So I'm still working for myself, and even throughout the day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, when I get off of work, if I put those hours towards somebody else, I gotta go to the gym and put an hour towards myself, and on top of that, I'm listening to podcasts and audiobooks while I'm at work, so I'm utilizing it and still putting that time in for myself. Because if you're able to work for somebody else, um, you got to be able to find that drive to work for yourself, right? You got to be able to, because it's doing it for yourself, man. Like, I had a conversation with somebody at work. Like I just said, for 8 hours, for every 8 hours you give to somebody else, you got to at least give two to yourself. How I feel after the day. You can't really just, and not in a way where it's just relaxation and you want to watch Netflix for 2 hours. No, like, do something purposeful towards your own goal, right? And work is gonna give you no matter how hard it is and how hard it might be and how annoying it might be, like, to get that edge and get that peace of mind that you're looking for, and that sense of urgency and just that consistency and just that routine, like go to work, go to the gym, you know what I mean? Focus on your business, focus on what you're trying to build outside of the work, right? And stick to that routine and keep building it and keep building it on your days off, right? You got all the time to focus on what you want to do and focus on yourself, right? Use those times to really, like, days off do not have to be like regular ordinary people, bro. You don't have to lay up in the bed all day. Get up and do something for your mental. Read you a book, watch you a podcast, learn something, put something towards that business, right? Learn something new, uh uh then wake up and then go to the gym, get you a workout in, sweat a little bit, hit the treadmill, eat something healthy, right? Have that good vibe by yourself. Do exactly what you would do if you had the own time to do it, right? So that's how I operate on my days off, and that's how I operate when I'm outside of work. I'm utilizing my time exactly how it would be when I get to that point where I do work for myself, and when I do provide my own income and I don't have to rely on somebody else's income, right? So, what does that look like for you? You got to figure it out. But what it looks like for me is I'm getting up, I'm focusing on the stock market, because on my session, on my end of the world, it opens from 6:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. Right, so I'm getting up and I'm gonna plan my trade. I already planned my trade the night before, but if I didn't, I'm gonna do my pre-market analysis, get on the stock market, make my trade, right? See what's going on. Focus on that for about 2 hours, because when you learn a skill, you don't need to even sit there all day. Focus on that. Make my content, right? Upload my video, make sure my videos are going well, edit the videos, boom. That's like 4 hours of work, right? Focus on that, a deep 4 hours, right? Now, if I just woke up at 6 in the morning I just did everything by 10 in the morning, 11, right? After that, right, what it looks like for me is going to the gym, right? I'll go to the gym, get my workout in. After that, go to a nice smoothie place, you know, um, get a little smoothie in, you know what I mean? Find somewhere to read me a book, right? Right. Um, Whatever live stream I gotta watch that day, or watch one of the live streams. If it's Market Mondays on a Monday, if it's Trapping Tuesday on a Tuesday. But enjoy the scenery, read me a book, take a nice walk out in nature, right? And we already hit the financial, mental, and physical aspect. After that, everything else is just kind of extra. You know what I mean? After that, I got more time to build whatever it is that I want to build, because there's always going to be more, right? Because I'm always going to be having to focus on whatever it is that's more, So there's different aspects of the business. If I already focus on content, well, let's focus. Let's look up on this merch. Let's look up on how this Instagram is doing, and this YouTube is doing, and that TikTok is doing. Let's look at how we can make more TikToks, because this is fun to me, right? Because this is my passion, right? So when I get to that future and I'm doing this, and I'm realizing that even now my whole mindset and my whole, like, a lot of my life is revolved around always being on my phone trying to get this content and my trading together, and listening to the stock market, and trying to listen to an audiobook, and putting something on my to-do list. Like, this self-development shit is a lifestyle for me, bro. you know I found my purpose at work. When you wake up in the morning and you wake up, I know the fucking purpose for me, for real, is to get better that day, and mentally, physically, and financially. I need to work towards that goal. Because there's always a goal. You always need to have a goal in mind and take it serious, bro. But I don't have nothing else. I don't know what else to do but level up. What else is we here? You know what I mean? We're here to get closer to what we're supposed to be. Enjoy yourself in the meantime. Enjoy this experience, but find joy in the experience of feeling hurt. Find joy in the experience of feeling sadness, and feeling pain, and feeling great, and feeling uncertainty, and feeling doubt. Like I was telling myself last night, I don't really know if this shit's gonna work. I was talking on the phone last night. I'm talking to her. I'm like, I feel that feeling of doubt in myself right now. Like, I don't know if it's gonna work. And I told myself that's such a beautiful feeling, bro. Because what if you actually knew that it was just gonna work the entire time? What if you knew that it was gonna be a straight line, and you could just fucking walk and take each step up to where you're trying to get to your destination? If you just knew that all you had to do is just wake up and do this, and wake up and do that, and wake up and do that. Nah, bro. It's like you walking up steps to get to where you're trying to go. It's like each step is, you don't know which one is the right one to take. Should I hop on? Should I take this step or that step? Dang, this step got me this result. Now I gotta learn and understand that I should have took the next step. Or damn, this step got me the right result. Now I know not to do that one. Now I know what to do again. Right? Okay, that didn't work. Now we gotta get dropped back to the drawing board. You know what I mean? Okay, now that worked. I'm gonna take that step. So you just it's. Then you might have to go back. And then you get to where you go, man. That's the beauty of it. That doubt, that uncertainty, that just not knowing right now. But then when you hit it, it's like, wow, right? That feeling of laying in your bed and you just feeling anxious and you just really don't know and you can't go to sleep. But then you know that when it's gonna be so easy to go to sleep in a nice luxurious bed, in a nice luxurious home, with a nice luxurious car, and just understanding that you've been through so much, but you've made it through so much. And it gives you that different type of strength inside, where yeah, you have all these nice things, but you understand that if you lost all these nice things, it's not it's not like you can't get it again because of who you are inside. So focus on finding yourself, y'all. And this is how I did it. This is my guide to how I'm continuing to find myself, but this is how I also got to the point of finding myself, because I tell you, I don't know. Maybe I gotta find other videos, but I used to be lost. You can even check back to me doing videos 2 years ago to now. You know, you can slowly see the increase of me getting to where I am trying to get to and where it is that I'm trying to get to, right? You can slowly see me getting more comfortable speaking to you guys and speaking about different topics and involving my life with you guys. You can slowly see all those things. So I appreciate everybody tuning in. And with that being said, it's the official Go Getter. Follow me on all platforms. You know, official Go Getter on Instagram, official Go Getter on TikTok. You know, keep grinding and doing what you're doing, man. This is just me just sharing my journey with you guys. You know, anything that I say to you guys is what I need to hear too. So that's why I say it so I can make sure I drill it in my head. I understand exactly what it means. I understand exactly what I'm talking about because these are things that we can all utilize for ourselves in the future. Because this life isn't just no coast, bro. It's deeper than you think, and we here for experiences. About